want it to happen.
I don't want it, Cassius, but Caesar is my good friend. But why do you keep me here so long? What is it that you want to tell me? If it is anything concerning the good of Rome, put honor on one side and death on the other, and I will face either one. For let the gods give me good fortune only if I love the name of honor more than I fear death.
I know that you have just said is true about you, Brutus. Just as your outward appearance. Well, honor is what I want to talk about. I don't know what you and other people think about life, but just for myself, I would rather die than live to be in awe of someone no better than I am. I was born as free as Caesar, so were you. We eat the same foods, and we can both stand the winter's cold just as well as Caesar. One time, on a cold and windy day when the Tiber River was rising in the storm, Caesar said to me, Cassie, I dare you to leap with me in this angry flood and swim to the spot over there. And as soon as he said it, dressed like I was, I plunged in and dared him to follow. That's exactly what he did. The torrent roared, he fought it with strong muscles, throwing and conquering it with our spirit of competition. But before we could arrive at the spot, Caesar cried, help me, Cassius, or I sink. Just like Aeneas, our ancestor, carried the old Aquinas from the flames of Troy on his shoulders. I, from the Tiber, carried the tired Caesar. This man is now considered a god, and Cassius, a wretched creature that must bow down if Caesar even carelessly nods at him. He was in Spain, and when he was having fits, I saw clearly how he shook. It's true, this god shook. Lips turned pale, and that same eye whose glance awes the world lost his shine. I heard him groan. Yes, that tongue of his waited the Romans to watch him closely and write his speeches in their books. Alas, it cried, give me something to drink, Titinius, just like a sick girl. Gods, it amazes me that such a weak man should get ahead of the rest of the world and appear as the victor all by himself.
This dude thinks way too much.
The crowd shouts again. I think that all this applause is for some new honors that are given to Caesar.
Yes. Okay, so basically Cassius is trying to hint to Brutus that he doesn't think Caesar is worthy to be the ruler. And he's giving him some examples, like he couldn't even swim across the river and I had to save his life. And now I'm supposed to bow down to him and he's the ruler, yet he wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for me. And then he says things like, when he was at war in Spain, he was sick and shaking. And do you know what's wrong with him? Does anybody know what happens when you have you fall down the ground and you shake? Yes, seizures. He has epilepsy, but they did not know what epilepsy was back then. They just knew that he shook. And so they knew there was something physically wrong with him. And so he's got some things on him, but he's not worthy of being the ruler of Rome. And so then they hear shouting again, and Cassius says, or Brutus says he's afraid that they're going to make him king. And Cassius says, why, man, he stands the world between his legs like a Colossus. Okay, the Colossus was a huge statue that was over the bay at Rhodes, and it was so large that the ship sailed. Yeah, it's on either side of the bay, and the statue was so big that you could see it far away. The boats actually sailed between the legs of the statue into the harbor. And so he's saying he's gotten so huge that he stands like this, and we little people are just like peeking around his legs. So it says he stands with the puny world between his legs like a colossus, and we insignificant men walk under his huge legs and look around to find ourselves dishonored. Men in time are in charge of their Brutus of our stars. Now, do you know what he was named, or book was named after Shakespeare line? It's not the fault, dear Brutus, of our stars. What book that is? The Fault. The Fault in Our Stars. Have you ever seen that book or movie?
No.
Heard that book or movie? It's named after this line in Shakespeare play. It says that we superiors, but it is our own fault, Brutus and Caesar. What is so special about the name Caesar? Why should that name be spoken more than yours? Write them together. It looks just as good. Say them. Your name sounds good. Weigh them. It is as heavy. Call spirits with them. Brutus will call up a spirit as soon as Caesar. Now, in the names of all the gods at once, why does Caesar eat to make him grow so large? It is a shameful time to be living. Rome, you have lost